Good evening, this is John Voorhees, and I am here to discuss the Heller case. On June 26th, 2008, Mr. Heller, a cop from Washington, D.C., thought it was unlawful for their gun laws out there because he couldn't keep a gun in his home for personal protection. The case was taken all the way to the Supreme Court, in which case the court had decided 5-4 that it was a individual right to keep and bear arms in their homes. Shortly after, areas of Illinois, California, and other liberal states started dropping their gun bans and starting letting people to buy guns again. This case has opened a new area of new laws that the anti-gunners want to pass, claiming that it's not an individual right, which it is, and therefore we do have the right to keep and bear arms. They like to think that a militia are the only group of people. The militia are made up of law-abiding citizens like myself. So for 10 years, that case has kept up our rights to keep and bear arms. People on the left like to regulate what they believe is right for the Second Amendment. They think you can only have 10 rounds, as that's what the founders would have wanted. No, that ain't how it works. We should be allowed to have any accessory. I don't care how many rounds of ammo that these things hold. It is our individual right to keep and bear arms in the United States of America. States like New York only allow 7 rounds. Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, California, Chicago, those are going to be 10 rounds, basically. After the whole case that ended, in 2010, a guy named Otis McDonald, who was a gentleman who lived in Chicago in one of the suburbs, had taken it to I think it was the lower courts out there, claiming he had a right to own a pistol in his house. Because this area of Chicago, which had banned pistols at the time, claiming it was an unlawful thing to do, and it was. Now, when these cases had been heard in certain states, they had dropped it, but they were finding ways to beat the system. First off, they were going by, oh, well, you can only have 10 rounds in a gun. Oh, you can't have AR-15s as they are not protected by the Second Amendment, which they are, and so on. The last thing I'm going to touch up on are bump stocks. Bump stocks, people are coming down. We're close to midterms, and they want to pass a law regulating them by banning them. Because of the tragedy in Vegas, they think a bump stock can increase the rate of fire, which it can't. It's still a single shot, pull the trigger. It almost shoots as fast as a machine gun, but it is not a machine gun. So I urge anyone who sees this video to call your congressmen, your governors, be respectful, and if you can, well, comment period ended 3 days ago, where you could have mailed the ATF. You should be respectful when you do it. Don't say anything threatening or nasty, because that will go into the trash. Be concise, honest, and not nasty to them. They're an agency. Their job is to overlook alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. That's their job. But with the regulations getting ready to come, there's no grandfather clause for the bump stock ban if it passes. But it ain't just going to be bump stocks. They could go after magazines that hold 30 rounds. They could go after binary and echo triggers and so forth. These laws are very dangerous, people. When HR 3999 was passed right after Vegas, some of the best gun YouTube channels I watch had been posting videos about it. Military Arms Channel did one, and when HR 3999 was read, it didn't name bump fire stocks. And these laws can strip us of semi-autos over time. That is why it's important to call your congressmen, your senators, and your government's office and let them know to oppose any laws on this. I will give you some of the best channels I've watched that deal with both the political stuff and the real stuff, fun stuff that they do. The highly recommend channels I would recommend to watch for both the political and fun would be Military Arms Channel, Iraq Veteran 8888, Such 00. You want to talk about finding everything to do with both shooting for fun and talking political about what these laws are, those 3 channels, people, are the best. For political stuff and stuff surrounding stuff would be both Military Arms Channel, Iraq Veteran 8888, The Gun Collective, and even Hank Strange does hour-long podcasts. They 2-hour podcasts, and he will get people on there that will discuss stuff going on. Now, I'm going to list all the channels that I like. You may not necessarily like, but would be worth watching, either for political or both political and fun. Military Arms Channel, Iraq Veteran 8888, Such 00, N-Range TV, Forgotten Weapons, Hickok 45, Vickers Tactical, The Firearm Blog, AK Operators Union, The Gun Collective, and so on. To all those, and Mr. Guns and Gear. These people do a fantastic job on their channels. I highly recommend these channels. You can find more channels if you want. Another good channel is C and Arsenal. Yeah, those videos are long, but at least it goes over history of some of the best guns out there, from the Lugers, the Carcanos, the Mauser, the Mosin, the Springfield. If you're into the old stuff like I am, that would definitely be a good channel for you. Everyone have a good 4th of July, and let freedom ring, because our freedoms are paid for by the blood of others. Have a good night, everyone.